In the past hour, Prince Harry has dropped his libel claim against the Mail on Sunday over an article about his security arrangements in the UK. The Duke of Sussex abandoned his case just hours before the deadline to pass over a list of documents. He must now pay the newspaper's legal costs along with his own fees, meaning a total bill of more than £750,000. Joining me now, talkTV's royal editor Sarah Hewson is with us. Afternoon to you, Sarah. No other way of saying this. This must be a huge blow, one would assume, for Prince Harry.
Yeah, as you described it, Ian, today was deadline day for Prince Harry's side to disclose a list of relevant documents to the other side. And at 10 o'clock, his lawyers informed the High Court that he would be discontinuing the case. Essentially, he's pulled out, he's dropped the case, and that means he is now liable for the Mail Group's costs as well as his own. And we're talking about costs of hundreds of thousands of pounds now. Now, this comes after a decision was taken in December. Prince Harry was trying to get Associated Newspapers' defence struck out, but a judge ruled they stood a real chance of being able to make that defence and that it should go to trial. It was due to be going to trial in May or June of this year. And any documents, we don't know what those documents are, but any of those documents that were disclosed could have formed a part of that trial. And so we've had the news today that Prince Harry has decided to pull out from this particular case.
So, I'm no lawyer, Sarah, but you have to, I hope, reasonably assume that whatever was in those documents was seen by his own lawyers to not be strong enough to mount the case they had begun.
Either that they didn't want certain elements from these documents to be put into the public domain and to be part of this court case, Ian, or that Prince Harry has decided to pick his battles and that, given what was said by the judge in December, potentially didn't think that he stood a strong chance in this case. He has got a number of cases outstanding. He is, of course, fighting the Home Office over his security arrangements. It is an article about that case that this centres on, an article in 2022, the headline saying how Prince Harry tried to keep his legal fight with the government over bodyguards a secret. Then just minutes after the story broke, his PR machine tried to put a positive spin on it. He had claimed it was libel because it attacked his honesty and his integrity, and tried to get that defence, an honest opinion defence by the Mail, struck out. He wasn't allowed to. He's also got other privacy cases, phone hacking cases underway. It may be, Ian, that he's decided he needs to focus his attentions elsewhere, pick his battles, and it's not good, though, because it is going to cost him a lot of money. It's going to cost him several hundreds and thousands of pounds, £250,000 to Associated Newspapers, plus his own costs. The Daily Mail estimating it at being around £750,000. But also because of the principle of this, because he has set himself up as a crusader on against the media and for better standards in media, and so to pull out at this stage doesn't look good.
Yeah, and I was saying to a previous guest, Sarah, I had a sense that Harry felt he was on a bit of a roll. The anti-establishment thing had kicked in, a lot of support behind him. There were some headlines suggesting that there was a public feeling that those on his side were increasing in number, perhaps deluding himself into believing that he had far more support, both legally and from members of the public, whoever else, on these kind of things than he actually did. I wonder whether this will be maybe a warning shot to him and maybe his legal team that perhaps he's not on the kind of firm ground that he previously thought.
Well, I guess it really depends on the reasons for him making that decision, and we don't know those. Only he and his lawyers at this stage know those decisions. He was on a bit of a high at the end of last year because, despite losing that particular part of the case against the Mail, he had then had a victory against the Mirror, and he said that the fight goes on, but he has decided not to fight on this one. It's also coming in the week where we've had the news that his father's going into hospital, his sister-in-law has had major surgery, and Prince Harry, we may well be seeing him later on this evening. We don't know yet whether he's going to turn up, but he's been nominated as a legend of aviation And that award is being presented in Beverly Hills tonight. Whether or not he'll be out on the red carpet, whether there'll be any comment from him on this, whether there'll be any comment from him on the health of his family members, because we haven't heard anything on that yet. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, he's not flying in the legal department, that's certainly for sure. Sarah, thank you. Sarah Hewson, our royal editor, with us here on talkTV. Goodness me.